Greetings, exiles. It's time for another journey. And as always, I'm starting with a scratch. This time, my favorite build, AUTOBOMBER Death's Oath. It got some cool stuff in the new patch. So let's test it out. Death's Oath isn't a build you can start with right away, so I'll start with a chaos damage over time build, Soulrend. Besides, I've wanted to try it for a long time. First lab and first money. But let's not go crazy over this wealth that I unexpectedly obtained. I'll buy this shield for more damage. And this ring. And that's it. I'll continue my journey. And a bit more currency. The main reason to play as an occultist, these beautiful explosions. I love them. The first stage is complete. But before I move on to the maps, one more small purchase. My next stage, get the first 2 void stones, complete as many maps as possible, then come up with a simple strategy for earning currency, earn some divine orbs, and swap to my main build Death's Oath AUTOBOMBER. As for my current build, it's very comfortable. Single target is pretty mediocre, but map clearing is very fast. I also decided to buy 1 cluster to scale my damage. In addition, I will use this cluster for Death's Oath, so you can consider that the purchase of gear for the main build has already begun. Default 6 links from the breach tree. Last lab. Unfortunately, without money. A new ring for damage and speed. It's time to replace my unique shield that I bought at level 30. And the first lucky drop. Easy money. Well, I'm ready to fight with quest bosses. As I said earlier, single target DPS is very modest, but nevertheless, the first void stones are mine. My currency stash looks like this, and it's clearly not enough to buy all the stuff I need for Death's Oath. So let's make some kind of simple atlas to earn currency. Something like this. Heist, because it's easy money. Delirium, because delirium orbs are another easy way to build up some starting capital. The ritual, but I don't plan on doing it, and I'll just look for the nameless ritual, because there's guaranteed to be something valuable there. And the last one is a fragment Echo of Reverence. Looks like a good plan, now I just need to test it in action. But first, a startup investment. I need maps. Let's go. In the end, I ran 25 maps and here is my main loot. I'm not going to show you complex tables and graphs that take into account every chromatic orb and T16 map. I'm showing you what the main earnings are in this strategy: delirium orbs, blueprints, and fragments. Everything else is a bonus that you may or may not find. And a quick sale. Here's the result. I spent less than 2 minutes on each map, and in the end, I completed all 25 maps in less than an hour. That gave me 3.5 to 4 divine orbs per hour. That's about what I expected from a simple strategy with minimal investment and no need for a strong build. At this stage, I'm happy with these numbers because for the starting version of the Death's Oath build, I need about 10 divine orbs, and I can earn them in a couple of hours. Well, let's continue. This time, I decided to add a little juice to the strategy. But honestly, it's not worth it because each scarab costs 7 chaos orbs. When I made this video, the price of scarabs dropped, while the price of delirium orbs increased. Therefore, using these scarabs is now reasonable. And here are the first divine orbs of this journey. I also changed the atlas. I removed Ritual because an audience with the King costs only 35 Chaos Orbs, and Nameless Ritual is quite rare. So no more rituals. Nice. Just what I need. And another payday. I love it. I like this currency stash tab better. Let's go shopping. Shaper's shield with life recovery on block and some other good stats. Main item for this build. Foulborn version. It's certainly not a game breaker for this build, but it's better than the base version for sure. There's good news and bad news. I'll start with the good news. We don't need 6 links for this build. The bad news is that we need 4 off-color sockets, which can be very problematic and expensive. Just be lucky. Amulet with Despair and Punishment. Alternatively, you can use Despair and Enfeeble. Important Anointment. Glorious Vanity with Zabaqua. Wand. Fractured Base and Essences. On the first try. No way. Damage over time is only tier 4, but it's fine for a start. Benchcraft and my new wand is ready. Gloves. Again, Fractured Base and Essences. I think I'll stop there. Boots with life and resistances. Benchcraft and call it a day. Belt. And again, crafting. For starters, I'm using basic crafting with essences. It's very simple, even a beginner can figure it out. Nice. Abyss Jewel and Storm Shroud. And now I have ailments immunity. Helmet. And again, everything as usual. New ring. This will come in handy too. And this. Enlighten level 3 to fix mana. Some clusters. Poor man's headhunter. And the last purchase. Now I can respec. Very good. The Death's Oath build is now online. Let's see what I've got, but first I need a new atlas. Harbingers. I think it's time to talk about this build in more detail. First of all, I want to say that this is not a build that you can start playing with right away. In most cases, it's a second build or a reroll when you start with some kind of witch build, earn currency, and then swap to Death's Oath. That's what I did. I'm also often asked, what's the point of this build, since it's similar to Righteous Fire and is essentially Chaos Righteous Fire? Well, what can I say? There are questions in the world that have no clear answer. And this is one of those questions. I just love the build. And there are a lot of players in the PoE community who also love this build, especially in Asia. It's just fun. You just do a shield charge and everything around you explodes with a pleasant sound. As I like to say, there are 2 types of players in the world, those who love Death's Oath and those who are wrong. But enough chatter, let's get back to our blue guys. Divine Orb from the Breach. No way. Stealth buff for sure. An unexpected find, to be honest, but this unique jewel will come in handy. Overall, it's not the craziest strategy for earning money, but it's pretty simple and lazy. And with the potential for a big lucky drop, something I enjoy. I also recommend running 8 mod maps. And even though Harbinger's shards don't depend on quantity, Harbingers summon a lot of rare monsters that are affected by quantity. But honestly, Harbingers aren't really suitable for this build, because its main purpose is zooming and blasting through T16, T16.5 maps. And yes, this is a pure mapping build, so forget about bosses. I often skip a map boss when there is more life and or chaos resistance on the map with Delirium. Harbingers are very slow. You just stand in the center and wait for them to summon new monsters. So, the new Atlas is strongboxes. And yes, I know, it's not very original, and everyone is tired of strongboxes, but it's a reliable and fast way to get divine orbs. That's what I need because I want to make a few more upgrades. strongboxes are so stupid. I've saved up some currency, which means it's time for new purchases. To be honest, I feel like I'm lacking damage. Because of that, the build doesn't perform as it should. Unfortunately, Death's Oath is not a one divine orb build. To start with, I need 3 clusters like this. New Light of Meaning with chaos damage. Unnatural Instinct gives a lot of value. Thread of Hope so I can free up skill points. And a new unique ring. This item was added in the new patch, and when I saw it, I immediately thought about Death's Oath. It's a pretty interesting option because it allows us to scale the damage from Death's Oath because it's an aura, and it also boosts our despair because it's an aura thanks to blasphemy support. Unfortunately, the current version of POB doesn't support this item, so you have to do the math by yourself. And the last purchase is Watcher's Eye. It was a good shopping trip, and now the build should feel much better. Oh yes, just what I needed. Now this is the real build. Now we have a lot of damage, and most importantly, our explosions have more AoE and of course, more damage because now we have a lot of increased chaos damage. Nice and juicy explosions. Just what I needed. I just use shield charge and everything around me explodes. It's really fun. Well, I think this is a good moment to end the first part of the journey. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. Also, I would be very grateful for your likes and subscriptions. And see you in the second part.